Perhaps you can just describe to us a little bit of how this cross-border came about and perhaps some of the challenges and how successful it was.
Well, we were invited to participate in a search that was initiated by Pankaj with his firm in India with one of his clients that was seeking a CEO in the U.S. The position would be based in Dallas, Texas, and it turned out to be a very interesting assignment. The position was focused on the field crop seed industry in the United States and actually the NAFTA territory. And one of the reasons we were selected was our expertise in both the U.S. and Mexico. The position being focused in Texas was also based in the U.S. Midwest. There were several unique challenges that I think Pankaj could speak to.
Yeah, the client was already working with two of the very large prominent global firms for quite a while. But they understood that when they would enter a new market, they wanted a firm which can handhold them on various issues, besides just finding a good candidate. They would have preferred a firm who would guide them about the cultural sensitivities of interviewing candidates, having a countrywide reach to figure out the track record of the candidate. And one of the expectations they had was the firm to be very patient with them, because they would take a lot of time to take their decision. And we were selected because we assured them that we won't be rushing them or pushing them to take a decision which they felt that other firms would do because they want to get over from one assignment to another. And that was the key for us to get on to that assignment. And Warren did a fantastic job of being very patient, and I think it took us 6 months?
About 6 months.
Which was the time which the client took to take a decision, and we were pretty sort of comprehensive in presenting a very good research and candidates to the client.
What were some of the major challenges?
Some of the major challenges were that the position was focused on seeking a business leader that could really tap in and understand the large commercial farmers in the Midwestern U.S. And that requires a very special mindset, obviously, and very difficult for a foreign company to be able to do that. The subject client company was in the process of acquiring a number of U.S. seed producers at that time, and so that was a missing link, was to find a leader that could really help them understand the needs and interest of the U.S. Midwestern commercial farmer. And we were really able to do that. It took quite some time. Culturally, there was some time spent demonstrating and showing to our Indian client that what the various aspects and dimensions of the talent market was through some talent mapping and researching. But ultimately, we were able to find exactly what they were looking for.
And how did your client react to the cross?
Well, the surprising part about this client is that we did the first assignment with them, and their experience has been fantabulous so far. We are even working on more assignments, with them. And one of the things they appreciated was the fact that we were able to bring a lot of insight about the U.S. market, in addition to telling them more about the cultural and the professional background of the candidates. And they were in a unique situation because they had already acquired two companies and they had a running business, but they didn't have a leader in place. One, to consolidate those companies with their organization, and second, to lead the organic growth of the company within the US market. Client has been very, very appreciative of our work, the kind of insight we provided and we shared with them, and they were particularly surprised by the coverage we had shown them, or Warren had showed them, because I think in the client's quote, if I can share with you, is that they don't think we would have left any candidate untouched during the search, and they were surprised that a small search firm can actually have a coverage like this in a big market like US.
How many candidates did you actually have to go through until you found one, and how many did you actually present to the client?
Well, we presented a number because this is a very different search process. Part of this thing involves some research of what the talent market was in the US, but we started with a pool of several hundred and wound down to I think in the final end, what was actually presented that they had an opportunity to have a look at was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 or 14 that we screened down from that large pool of several hundred.
And I get the impression that the client was quite surprised there were that many candidates.
Yes, especially because they were not ready to do any compromise on their criteria. It was very specific, very stringent. One of the aspects they were looking from the candidate was that the candidate needs to have a very good reputation in the market, because they were very concerned about how a candidate is perceived by the peers in the industry or the clients or the business partners. And they were surprised that having one office and having such a wide coverage, for them it was a very good experience.
It was a great opportunity, like the IRC. It was an opportunity to serve or provide an example of what IRC stands for, being globally connected and locally committed.